welcome to my kitchen where Mariah makes miracles one recipe at a time. So today's recipe is going to be a traditional Spanish recipe. It's called the empanada. Basically it's a meat-filled pastry, and I'm actually going to switch it up today and do a couple different combinations. So we're going to start with the ground beef. I'm going to start seasoning it with a basic Spanish sofrito. It's a pesto made out of tomatoes, basils, garlics, all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to grab about a tablespoon of this and just add it into our meat. After that, we're going to add a little pepper. Not too much, you don't want it to be too heavy. We're going to use some adobo, which is a common Puerto Rican seasoning. And then we're going to add some garlic, which is a nice flavor, it gives it a good touch. And finally, we're going to do a sazon. Now, this seasoning adds a lot of flavor and actually gives it a nice color. So you want to make sure you put about a half a packet in here, not too much. You don't want anything to be a little overpowering. All right, looks good. After we do our seasonings, you don't have to mix right away. You want to kind of let it sit in and marinate. We're going to go to our vegetables. I actually grabbed some bell peppers. They are sliced into strips and then diced up into cubes. They're about a centimeter big. We grab one of each color, so there's the red, the yellow, and the green. They all have their different flavors, so it kind of adds something to the thing to give it a little pop. You're gonna rough chop your onions, nothing too big, nothing too small. You wanna kind of get a nice crunch and a nice bite to it, and as well as your olives. You don't wanna have nothing too whole. It gives it kind of a bitter taste, so you wanna get it as small as possible. All right, so we're going to start adding our peppers. You're just gonna kind of throw them in there. You want to give yourself a good amount, something to play with, something to add some fun, and it gives it a lot of color. All right. Make sure you get all that in there. And you're going to add your olives. Not too many, you don't really necessarily need to use all that you cut up. All right, and now we're gonna just start blending all of our good stuff together. Make sure everything gets a little bit of flavor, gets a little bit of seasoning. So you want to make sure all your vegetables are everywhere throughout the meat. All right, so while I finish blending all our stuff together, we're gonna go to a quick break. See you when we come back.
Stupid bottles.
Hey, trash lady. Oh, 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 oh. It's the recycle style. Didn't I tell you to recycle all those bottles? They're harming our environment and poisoning the water. We need to make these changes for our future generations. Please listen to me, listen to me. It's the recycle style. Please listen to me, listen to me. It's the recycle style.
Welcome back to Mariah Makes Miracles. In case you're just joining us, I'm making a Puerto Rican empanada. So we're just gonna take our meat contents and bring it back to the range and cook our filling. Let's do that. All right, so we're just gonna take it back to the stove. You're gonna pour it in. Your temperature should be at a medium high. I suggest spraying your pan with a non-stick spray, as I did. If you have a gas stove, then I suggest spraying away from it. And we're just gonna let our meat render for about 15 minutes, or until you feel as though it's done. It should be at a brown coloring. It gets a little darker. You never wanna see any pink with ground beef. So This recipe came to me when I was about 8 years old, and it was the first time I was actually allowed to sleep over, like my friends' houses and my grandparents' houses and stuff like that. Because, of course, in a Puerto Rican household, it's pretty strict. So my grandmother spent the entire night teaching me different Spanish things. I mean, I learned from rice and beans to empanadas to frying pork chops. So it was all the basics. I actually fell in love with this dish because it was the only one that I could really help her with, because sealing and wrapping everything together was pretty easy. And it's nothing like coming downstairs and smelling this. It is the best thing, and I wish you guys could smell it yourselves. It's almost a warm, welcoming smell that just gets you excited. I mean, me and my cousins used to play outside, and for about, I don't even know, like all day, a couple hours, and come inside and eat grandma's food was the best thing ever. But I'm sure everyone has that experience. All right, so I think it's really important to not cook it completely until it's dry. You actually want to stop yourself a little bit ahead of time, because you are going to be putting this inside a pastry and then frying it. So we're just going to take this out and drain it. All right, so we're just going to pour it into our strainer. You can put the strainer actually over a bowl and let it just sit there and just drain all the juices. If you actually are in a hurry, you can press it down just a little bit. Get in there through all the little holes. All right, looks good. Okay, so we're gonna take this over, and I sprayed this pan already with some nonstick spray. All right, so this orange dough is actually a Goya disc, which you can find at any local market. I mean, ShopRite, Bottom Dollar, they all have it. You just put it down. Don't stretch it out. You want to keep the same circle. Put a little bit in your spoon towards the center. If anything falls out, that's okay. All right, and then you fold over. And my job to help my grandma was basically this: the press and seal. It was about the most fun that I had all day in the kitchen. Alrighty, and that's what it should look like. And then we'll do it again. Same thing. Put a little bit in time. You want to get as much peppers and stuff, get all the good stuff in there. I actually have an aunt who does this, and she puts a boiled egg in there. I mean, hey, if that's your kind of thing, that's cool too. Me personally, not my fave. I like making it more traditional and keeping it classic, which you can never go wrong with. Who doesn't like classic? All right, so the key to this is using pure vegetable oil. And if you can see, I actually put little pieces of dough to see the temperature. You want it at a high temperature. You want to use a frying pan that's pretty deep. All right, so we're just gonna place these in there. And a good sign is that it kind of pops back at you. See how that goes around there? You want it to cook from the outside in, because the inside's already cooked, so that kind of makes sense. All right, remember, never crowd your pan, because nothing gets cooked that way. And you're just gonna pop these bad boys in there. Now, this is the part that I actually had to leave for my grandma. I was never allowed to be in this section. But times are changing. All right. And then give them a nice quick drain. The important thing is that you use some heavy duty tongs so that nothing slips and slides, and you don't want any oil popping back at you. Look at that, that looks good, doesn't it? All right. Nice color, nice texture. It's gonna have some great flavor. That looks good. Alrighty. So now it's all about plating our beautiful golden empanadas. We're gonna stack them nice and high because we are very proud of our final product. All right, and there you go. All right, up next, we're gonna work on our pizza, and then we're in for a sweet treat. Check us out.
Help! Help! Ah!
Cheese.
Where'd you come from?
Don't worry about it. What's
She's
wrong?
wasting important resources. What are these for?
Make us look cool.
Okay. Where'd you get that from?
Chill. Don't worry about it. Who's the superhero? Me.
Don't be the enemy, turn off the energy.
Don't be the enemy, turn off the energy.
Welcome back. I just got done making our meat empanadas, which is of course traditional, but I've given this one a little more American twist. It's a pizza one, which is the same basis, but it's used with a white dough, and you're just going to use simple ingredients like sauce and cheese. So I'm going to show you how to assemble it. All right, so you're going to grab your white disc, and the only difference between this and the orange one is that it has a couple more products and it has coloring. You're going to place your sauce in the center of the dough. Sauce goes a long way, and once it's cooked, it starts spreading. All right, so cheese is your best friend. So we're gonna give a nice mountain of cheese. I prefer mozzarella. Some people use cheddar, Swiss. It doesn't really make a difference. Okay, so after that's in the center, just like that, you're gonna fold over and do the same process as you did before, which is the press and seal. Now, I've learned over my experiences that the press and seal should be done on both ends so that it doesn't pop back up and lift. So, the good thing about these doughs is that they come with a little parchment paper thing in the back, so you can just flip over and do the same thing to the opposite side. So now we're just going to finish sealing this off. All right, so we're gonna get these back in the fryer just like we did before, and then we'll start dipping into our sweet treat. See you when we come back.
I'm all out of candy. Where'd he go? Ah! What?
Pick up those papers.
Who said that?
Clean, or I'll come for you.
If I can't see you, you're not real.
Ah!
Recycle, or the shadow will get you.
All right, so now it's time to dip into our sweet treat, which is a cream cheese and guayaba paste filling. And I know what you're thinking, what kind of combination is that? But trust me, it's great. I actually have a funny story to go with this. My little cousins were helping me make this, and they love working and baking in the kitchen with me, of course. So this is just a simple pie crust. And we were working with cookie cutters, which is actually the fun thing. And we spent all night making a terrible mess in the kitchen, which was pretty exciting, but it's not fun cleaning up. All right, so you're just gonna put a little dollop of cream cheese. Remember, like I said before, cream cheese goes a long way. And we cut our guayaba paste into cubes. The fun part about this, it's really sticky, so careful with your hands. All right, so when you're working with pie crust, you wanna do a press and seal. And you're just gonna fold, and then make sure all your ends are together so that nothing comes out. All right. So now we're gonna take our egg wash, which is just 1 egg beaten, and then about 2 teaspoons of water. And you just dip inside and flip over and dip again. And this just gives it a nice golden brown color. All right, we're gonna take this and we're gonna put this onto our baking sheet. You can use any size. And you're just gonna line them up like this. So we can, like I said, make a bunch of different funky shapes. And just cut it like this. And then you do your fillings. Grab your little sticky cube. Put it right in the center. A little bit of the cream cheese. Right on top. And then you just fold over. Fold over. Close it all up. And it's just going to be nice and bite-sized. And then you dip in the egg wash, turn around, dip again, and then it's done. All right, now that they look beautiful in the pan, we're just gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees and then place these in there for about 15 to 20 minutes whenever you realize that they're golden brown at the top. All right, and this is our final product. Everyone should be very proud of themselves because look at that, it looks pretty gorgeous. All right, so I hope you had fun when Mariah makes miracles in the kitchen. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.